A while back, I made a podcast about old Hollywood scandals and mysteries, and it got over 100 views. To honor this, I decided to make a part 2 with even more true stories. Now, I'm going to be talking about some serious and possibly disturbing content, so listener discretion is advised. My name is Lanie, and this is MovieMania. Going through movie history, my goal is to give you insight into all types of films. Today's topic: more scandals and mysteries of Hollywood. Martha Mansfield was a famous Hollywood actress during the Silent Age, known for starring in roles such as the 1920 adaptation of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. However, she is unfortunately most known for her death on November 29, 1923. On the set for the film The Warrens of Virginia, Mansfield took a break from shooting and sat in a car. During this time, a fire started on her Civil War-era costume, and she was severely burned. Mansfield would die the next day from her wounds. The thing is, no one really knows what started the fire. Some witnesses say they saw a match being flung in the car, while another theory suggests Mansfield dropped a cigarette on herself. However, her mother claims she hated smoking. So what really happened? Thomas Ince is a name you may not have heard of, but his death is certainly a Hollywood legend. They even made a movie about it. Ince was a film producer during the silent era known as the Father of the Western. He was also a pioneer in the field by creating the first assembly line system of filmmaking, and he was the first mogul to build his own film studio. Ince died on November 19, 1924, aboard the yacht of famed businessman William Randolph Hearst. Ince was invited on a cruise to celebrate his birthday with famous guests like Charlie Chaplin and Marion Davies. During the trip, Ince fell ill and died, reportedly of heart failure. Many people believe Ince was shot and killed on the trip by Hearst, who mistook Ince for Charlie Chaplin. Some report that they saw Ince bleeding from the head as he was taken off the ship, but at his funeral, no witnesses saw a bullet hole. So what really happened? Many still recognize Rudolph Valentino as one of the most iconic figures in silent movie history, so his death at the age of 31 in 1926 was a shock to his fans. His lover during this time, Polish actress Pola Nagiri, was just as stunned, but what she would do at his funeral would be viewed as a publicity stunt. Nagiri arranged for her name to be spelled out in flowers at his funeral. Along with that, she was crying and wailing all throughout the event. She even passed out over his coffin. Later, she would talk to journalists about the event. Was this the love that was cut too short? Or was Nagiri just acting? What do you think? Jean Harlow was one of the most famous actresses during the early 1930s. Harlow would die tragically young from kidney failure. But today, we're going to talk about the death of her second husband, Paul Bern. Bern was a director, writer, and producer who worked on films such as Grand Hotel. Bern helped start the career of Harlow, and the pair would marry in 1932. 2 months after their marriage, Bern would be found dead from a gunshot wound to the head. An apparent suicide note was found at the scene, but the validity of the note was put into question. A popular theory suggests that his abandoned common-law wife, Dorothy Millett, killed Bern. However, she jumped off a steamboat 2 days after his death. So, could she be at fault? Who knows? Walter Wagner was a producer known for his contributions to films such as 1963's Cleopatra. Wagner was married to famous actress Joan Bennett, who was known for films like Scarlet Street and TV shows like Dark Shadows. On December 13, 1951, Bennett and her manager Jennings Lang planned to meet to discuss a new project. Wagner saw Lang walk Bennett to her car, and in a fit of rage, Wagner shot Lang. Wagner was charged and served 4 months in jail for the crime. Once Wagner served the sentence, he made a movie titled Riot in Cell Block 11, and basically still maintained his career. Do you think this would fly in today's Hollywood? Jane Mansfield was an American actress known for films such as Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter and The Girl Can't Help It. She was often considered a rival of Marilyn Monroe, with the pair both holding the blonde bombshell stereotype. However, Mansfield's death often overshadows her career. Let me explain. On June 29th, 1967, Mansfield, her attorney, her partner, a driver, her 3 children, and 4 of her dogs were driving along Highway 90 at 2:25 a.m. The car the group was traveling in hit the rear of a tractor-trailer, killing the adults and 2 of her dogs. Mansfield's head was crushed in, but false rumors spread that she was decapitated. To prevent more deaths of this kind, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration began requiring an under-rad guard on all tractor-trailers. This bar was nicknamed the Mansfield Bar, as a stark reminder of this dark moment in history. One of her children that survived the crash was Mariska Hargitay, who became an actress known for her role as Olivia Benson in Law & Order SVU. One of Hollywood's greatest tragedies is the death of Sharon Tate. Tate was an actress known for her roles in Valley of the Dolls, The Fearless Vampire Killers, and The Wrecking Crew. Tate would have become an established star of Hollywood if not for her death in 1969. Tate was married to director Roman Polanski and was 8 months pregnant with their child. On August 8, 1969, Tate went to dinner with her stylist, Jay Sebring, Wojciech Frykowski, and Abigail Folger, and returned to their house at 10:30 p.m. Polanski was away at the time. The next day, Tate's housekeeper returned to the house and found Tate, her unborn child, and her guest stabbed and killed. Tate and Sebring were found hanging from a support beam in the living room, while Frykowski and Folger were found on the front lawn. Tate had begged the perpetrators to take her hostage and let her live long enough to give birth to her baby, but they did not listen. Tate was stabbed 16 times, but was still alive when she was hanged, dying of hemorrhage. Who was responsible for such a heinous act? None other than the Manson family. The next day, 2 others were also killed by the family. Charles Manson and his perpetrators were arrested for these crimes. Manson and one of his family members died in prison, 2 other members remain in prison, and 1 was released in 2023. I don't want to dwell on the perpetrators in this case because Manson and his family do not deserve to be recognized as people. It's important to honor the victims of this terrible crime rather than understand the criminals. If you want to know more about this case, there are multiple movies, books, and shows about it. After hearing about the death of his wife and unborn child, you might start to feel sorry for Roman Polanski. Well, he's a terrible person. He is a fugitive and will be arrested upon entry into the U.S. Let me explain. Polanski became a famous director, known for films such as Rosemary's Baby and Chinatown. However, in 1977, Polanski was arrested and charged with crimes against a 13-year-old girl when he was 44. After learning that the judge planned to reject his plea deal and impose a prison sentence instead of probation, he fled to Paris. Later on, other actresses would come forward, accusing Polanski of the same crime. He has been arrested several times, but many countries have declared him a free man. The victim of the crime mentioned previously, Samantha Gailey, has said that anyone who thinks Polanski deserves to be in prison is wrong. So, who really knows what should be done about this crime? By the way, Polanski won the 2002 Academy Award for Best Director for The Pianist, while he was still a fugitive. Well, that concludes this episode of Movie Mania. I hope you enjoyed the series. If you did, like and subscribe. If you have any other questions or ideas for future topics, comment below. Thanks for listening.